8 mirror cups today in order, starting with the Boulder Cup. We'll be finishing the day with a Sylph Regionals, and we're going to be running it with Sylph rules for all of them, but only the Regionals Cup is going to be actually a ranked Sylph Cup, because the other ones we want to split pairings. We'd probably get the same round 1 pairings every time, which isn't as appealing. And so we've set it up so that all 8 competitors will play each other once in the first round over the course of the day.
Yeah, and we expect some really intense battles through this day, and they're all really exciting. They came from all around the world. Do you want to talk about where each of the competitors have come from?
Yeah, so we have KiengIV here. He's a local from Seattle. And then we have Ice, I believe it's pronounced, is from nearby Tacoma here in Washington. And then WildSusanBoyle made the drive down from Vancouver, BC. And then Hang PJs drove up from Portland, Oregon. And then Scandalous Panda flew in from Las Vegas. We had... how do you pronounce it?
Montoya?
Shug Montoya came from where in Mexico? Monterrey, Mexico. So how long was that trip?
20 hours.
20 hours.
So they flew from like location. Took a bus.
Yeah, Monterrey, Tijuana, San Diego, Las Vegas, and then to Seattle.
So pretty neat that someone was that committed to come to this showdown that they made such a long trek just to be here. And then we have Ramberto from, is it Los Angeles, California?
Somewhere. Is he from Los Angeles?
Yeah, Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Somewhere about the...
He wrote in his Sylph Arena profile, somewhere over the rainbow.
Yeah, but
so we can only presume somewhere really sunny, maybe they had a little rain. Right, so
and yes, he's from Los Angeles.
Rainbow, so from Los Angeles. And he's actually our youngest competitor.
Yeah, he's only 16 years old, which is pretty impressive. And I think he's ranked maybe 21st or something.
Yeah, very high ranked. I think the highest ranked out of all these competitors today. So,
and then the last one is we have a C9 Gotham who came in from Omaha, Nebraska. And that was pretty cool because unfortunately D-Master Lance had something come up and he wasn't able to make it last minute. And literally with I think a day and a half notice, C9 Gotham was able to book a flight and get here from Omaha.
And he actually had some flight issues last night, so he had to spend the night in Minnesota. I'm sure he got some extra advice from Matt from PV Poke, right, in the same city. So I'm sure that was actually strategic for him to purposely
getting some extra knowledge through osmosis.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting some extra sims in, some custom sims. Matt, I'm sure you gave him some really good hospitality. So he actually just flew in, landed today at 8:30 a.m. 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so he landed about 2 hours ago, and now he's here ready to go.
Yeah, and they're all ready. They're all excited. If you guys haven't already checked out Tristan's Twitter for a picture of the trophy. It's really nice. Cool. So thanks, Jimma Banks, for setting that up for us. And
I believe you added a little bit extra.
So I added the 2 cards that I got signed by Morimoto and Masuda, just as something a little extra special because those signed cards are super rare, especially the Psyduck one from Masuda-san. So
I think we'll see any Psyducks today.
These are some of the best battlers in the world, so you'll never know what they're going to bring. So I'm sure there's going to be some really spicy picks. I expect the first cup, which is going to be Boulder, to be relatively uniform.
Can we pull up those Boulder teams?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about really the core of Boulder is 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, Skarmory, Medicham, and Swampert.
Yeah, which is Skarmory, obviously a staple from the first time they ran Boulder. Medicham, even better now with Power Up Punch, because now it more effectively... in fact, Skarmory's probably went from first best to maybe 3rd best.
Yeah, because the big one was Swampert too, which took that Mudbite role where Marsh Tomp was fairly popular last time, but now Swampert with that Hydro Cannon is even better.
Yeah, it can actually effectively take out a Skarmory. But on the switch, at least I found in practice in scrims, if you're not fast enough on switching out to to Swampert, then you're kind of in big trouble against Skarmory.
Well, the other one that'll be interesting is I believe there's a breakpoint that Skarmory can get that lets it beat Swampert and Bronzong in the one shield.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be interesting to see if any of the competitors were aware of that and have a Skarmory spec for that, because most people are assuming their Swampert's going to win that Skarmory matchup. But if someone has that breakpoint, that'll flip it, which could be pretty big.
Yeah. It's interesting not to put you on the spot. We actually had a question last night because I'm actually staying with three of the competitors. What are they doing in terms of, are they allowed to TM in between tournaments?
Yeah, so we talked to them about that, and they are allowed to TM their Mons in between the tournaments. You just can't TM while a tournament is active.
Yeah.
But like once the Boulder Cup is done, if they want to TM their Bronzong for Kingdom Cup or for Nightmare or for regionals, they can do that.
Yeah, do we... I think one of the staple picks, so it's relatively uniform. Boulder's probably the least exciting of all the tournaments, but there are some spicy moveset considerations. So I think one of them on Medichamp is Psychic.
Yeah.
Do we think that we're going to see any Psychics in this tournament? Or do you think because of how many Torterras there are, that virtually everyone's carrying Torterra?
Torterra is there as a deterrent, but it'll be interesting to see how many people actually use it.
Yeah, it's kind of a risk play.
And the thing is, I think Medicham does fairly well against Torterra, just spamming those power-up. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of these competitors did use a tech and run Psychic to try to steal that mirror match.
If you win that mirror match, it goes a really long way, especially after going 2 boosts on the power-up punch, or you might throw Psychic early, or after 1 power-up punch.
All right, and let's take a look at these teams here. So it looks like WildSusanBoyle is kind of running what's kind of considered to be the standard meta team here, with Gallade, Bronzong, Swampert, Skarmory, Torterra, and Medicham. So do you want to kind of walk people through why this is the meta team?
Yeah, so in fact, I think it was Roberto who told me in the hallway that all 6 of the 8 competitors are actually running the exact same team. It's only Ice and
Montoya.
No.
Yeah, because he's got the Steelix.
Oh, no. Oh, I guess maybe there's more changes. Oh, I guess it's 3 people because C9 got them. So I think this Medichamp, Skarmory, Swampert are pretty standard picks. I think
that's because they're just so strong against them.
Yeah, it's such a good core, right?
And they counter each other pretty well, too.
Absolutely. And then I think Gallade is really, depending if they're running Charm or Confusion, I think Charm, more of a hard counter for Medichamp. Confusion gives you a chance against Swampert, especially in the no shields to land that Leaf Blade.
And it gives you a little better chance of landing like a close combat on a Skarmory or something like that.
And then Torterra, strictly designed for Swampert. It does have an interesting matchup against Medichamp, but to be honest, I think the matchup is not as great because you basically have to expend 2 shields.
Yeah, it's a pretty narrow win. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And the 2 shields is 0, then you're hoping to land a Stone Edge against Skarmory. So mostly designed for the close game. You're hoping that when you get to the close game, after you do the Skarmory mirror or Skarmory versus Medichamp, that you land off with Torterra versus Swampert, which is a pretty one-sided matchup.
Yeah, and kind of the main appeal of Torterra too is to block people from just swapping to their Swampert, because then you can just hard counter them.
It's a fucking game.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's. And then Bronzong's more flexible between Medichamp and Skarmory.
Yeah, I could see people using Bronzong as like a safe swap.
They're gonna start playing in a minute. So if you guys want to switch over,
perfect. Let's to the game. So who are we featuring? We're featuring Roberto versus
C9 got him.
As you can see them, there's C9 got him in the hallway.
Which team is which?
Well, C9 got him to the right because he has Lucario.
Sorry about that.
And then Roberto is to the left.
Do you think we'll see that Lucario at all?
I think Lucario is an interesting pick because Lucario can beat Skarmory.
Yeah, it beats Skarmory. And then it can beat Bronzong.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's decent against Swampert. I'm not totally
Swampert's going to be super effective against it. And then as well, Lucario is very squishy. But to be honest,
pretty squishy too.
That's true. That's true.
Are you guys ready for the battle?
Yeah, we're ready for the battle. So Lucario is going to be a really interesting pick. How does it do against if that Gallade is running Charm? it'll do neutral damage.
Neutral, but it is squishy though.
They're both.
It's hard.
It's a
all right. So
looks like they aired on the challenge. That's fine.
But yeah, it looks like we have a Skarmory versus Gallade in the lead, which is pretty favorable for C9 Gotham.
Yeah.
So I am expecting an almost immediate switch once we get through this hatch animation.
Come on, shiny. Okay, yeah, all right. That's that's an underrated PvP mod. That's some interesting.
Do you think we're gonna see any Alolan Sand Slashes in Tempest Cup?
Probably not, but I wouldn't be totally shocked. So let's see how these guys played out.
So yeah, from the get-go, we're gonna have it's kind of advantage in C9 Gotham's court with that favorable lead, but there are definitely some good safe swap options within Boulder.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how these two played out. Okay, a little bit of a difference in the video, which is totally.
I'll fix that for the next match.
It's totally fine. So they decides to mirror into Medicham, which is probably the safest move.
Yeah, because I think he wants to save his Skarmory for that Gallade in the back.
Yeah, and I think what's really critical in this mirror match is the ability to hit Excellence. More so later on in the matchup, just because the matchup is so close to the end. You basically, especially if you don't shield, you can basically finish off with counters, and if you end up with a Medicham that's so boosted, then it's really favorable to one of the competitors.
Right. But also being able to potentially land an Ice Punch somewhere here can definitely swing the match, but then having Ice Punch shielded can swing it back the other way.
Decide to shield. Let's actually maybe I think C9 Gotham's screens ahead. So if you want to just focus on seeing that.
And so they both kind of got the baits here. It looked like getting each other to shield the power-up punches. And yeah, like you said, this is going to go down to the wire here. They're both on pretty low health, and it looks like he got that excellent there.
But let's see if the shield comes up, or he's going to let it go. I presume he's going to let it go, especially at this low health. And then he's going to be able to expend energy, and then he's going to be able to basically use one air slash to take out the Medicham. It's going to put in one counter, and that's pretty much it, right? But they're both at one shield. Let's see how they choose to play it out.
Now we got a Swampert Mirror here, and it looks like they're both running Hydrokin and Earthquake, right?
Yeah, pretty standard moveset.
Yeah, I know some people run Muddy Water to maybe get in the mirror, but Hydrokin and Earthquake seems a little safer. And we got a quick switch there to Gallade by Ramberto to try to tank that Hydrokin.
It does a ton of damage, and I'm not.
And he is running Charm, it looks like. But that was a good play because he realizes that his Gallade is kind of dead weight against that Skarmory.
Yep.
So he'd rather use it to deal with this Swampert and then have a better matchup in the back.
This is going to be interesting. But he needs Roberto needs to land 2 Hydro Cannons because these Mud Shots are going to do almost no damage. It does about half damage on Skarmory. And the Skarmory is already at a Sky Attack. So, I'm sorry the shield didn't come up. Because he might be able to fade him down with Sky Attacks, with Air Slashes. I think that's probably the right play. And just feign him down. He really needs to use that shield, actually. Because now he's just going to finish him off.
Yeah, now he's dangerously low. And,
he doesn't even
smart plays.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, I think he's going to fade. I think this Swamper's like probably three Mud Shots away.
Yeah, but he's missing out on an Air Slash there by using the charge move. So that's...
Wow, okay, yeah. The winning play was not to use. Because Roberto actually made a big mistake by not shielding the first one.
Yeah,
and
but he got lucky that Gotham ended up going for the other charge move.
I think
because the thing not everyone realizes is that when you're using a charge move, if it gets shielded, that only does 1 damage.
Exactly.
Versus if you don't use a charge move at all, you're getting an extra fast move.
Absolutely.
And all that damage in.
Absolutely. And then be able, you're squeezing another fast move, and Swapper only needs five mud shots to get off a Hydro Cannon.
Yeah.
So like 9 energy per 40 energy. So like each one matters so much. So we'll see if C9 got him recognizes his mistake and then adjusts towards it because that was his match to win.
Yeah.
It was actually probably Roberto's match to win at one point in time by intelligently switching to the Gallade to take down the Swampert, which was really good play. But then it switched to C9 got him's chance to win.
And then really back and forth. And you're right. I think correctly switching in the Gallade at the right time was definitely a turning point that allowed him to come back. And
to be able to farm down the opposing Swampert.
And did you see what C9 got him locked in? I missed that.
I thought it looked like looks like he's gonna. Okay, good thing I have this.
And Roberto is locking in the Gallade here in the lead with Swampert and Medicham, I believe.
They're basically playing it out almost exactly the same at this point in time. So, and then here comes the switch.
And we have Medicham here again. So, do you expect either of them to play this differently? Maybe double shield or not use any shields, or do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to. Well, they might play no shields, which is certainly a strategy, and I think no shields probably favors C9 Gotham.
Why is that?
Just because the ability to spam out those. Basically the Gallade's not going to be able to do pretty much any charge moves, and then be able to preserve those charge moves for the Swampert and for the Mirror is going to be favorable.
Yeah, especially if Gotham is able to maybe not shield and then farm a little bit with his Skarmory, that could put him in a good spot potentially.
Yeah. A farmed up Skarmory does still do favorable against Swampert.
And so far, he is neglecting those shields. Definitely take a risk, because if that was Ice Punch, it would have KO'd him. But that Medicham is fairly low. But it's quite a few power-up punches in so far. So this power-up punch is going to hit pretty hard.
And these counters are still going to do a lot of damage. But this Skarmory is going to be a lot of energy.
Yeah, so he did have to burn the shield, but now he has a full Sky Attack ready to go for this Swampert in the back.
You think that's to use energy right now? You think?
Yeah, I think he. Obviously he doesn't know the teams, but looking at the matchup, if he gets that Swampert out of the way, he's kind of in the clear.
Yeah. They
double switch.
Wow.
Interesting. And that charm is hitting pretty hard, especially considering how glassy Swampert is.
Well, let's see if you can get to Leap Blade. I think each charm does. Oh man, it's gonna be very close. He's gonna be super close. Oh, he got it out. Gosh. And he still has a shield, right?
Yeah, I think he does. The Skarmory does get a little energy here, not much, but
the Skarmory's in range of a Hydro Cannon. So let's see how. The thing is, again, why didn't he just? Well, he might.
I think in this case, he thinks he can get to that second Sky Attack. This is a little bit of a different situation.
He's 4 away. So that's 6 turns. So in theory, the 6 turns is less than 5. Well, it's more than 5, right?
That's
true. Going to be able to get to it, right?
But it does look like this Swampert had too much health to be able to feign it down with Air Slashes anyways.
Yeah. It's a tough call.
Well played by Roberto. He led Gallade into Skarmory 2 games in a row and was able to swap out and play it, come back from that.
Yeah. Well, do you think C9 got him knowing that Roberto was probably running the same team? Do you think it was the best move to go into 2 Medicham? Or do you think, for example, since he knows that Gallade can land that Leaf Blade against Swampert, that perhaps going like going in Swampert versus Medicham might have been. It's a losing matchup.
I don't know if I feel like that was the way to go. I think the biggest adjustment was if he had something to punish that Medicham swap.
Yeah, which he.
But I don't think was he running Gallade?
No. I get the Medicham mirror probably makes the most sense, and just trying to play out other potential scenarios.
But yeah, that's one interesting thing to see is because if you can win the lead. Within Boulder, you really want to have somebody to punish their switch.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then it's pretty easy to come back.
What do you? Yeah. Unless you run Gallade, what do you really punish?
It would have to be Gallade would be the only thing to punish that Medicham safe spot.
Yeah. It's that's why Medicham is so meta in this.
So it looks like we have all the round 1 results in. As you guys saw, Ramberto beat C9 Gotham, and then Shug Montoya beat Hang PJs. Scandalous Panda beating Ice, and WildSusanBoyle beating Philly Ebb. I'm sure those were all great matches because these are all real top players.
Yeah, for sure. It was C9 Gotham's match to win the first one.
Yeah, the first one for sure. If he had won that, it would have then gone to game 3, and you never know what happens in game 2.
Roberto be able to land that Leaf Blade with like basically almost no HP left.
Yeah, it seemed like a good shield usage from Ramberto in that second game.
Yeah.
Because having that shield advantage coming into the end was pretty pivotal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It would be a more advanced strategy, which would be very difficult to do in a tournament. Knowing perhaps if C9 Gombo was going to recognize that he was not going to beat Gallade to the charge move, do you just stop mud-shotting the Gallade?
Right, so that Skarmory can farm more energy.
Yeah, because like you basically need to be like two air slashes away to be able to beat the Swampert to the race.
Yeah, I think that would have actually been the play because if he had stopped attacking as soon as he Hydro Cannon, there would have been enough energy for the Skarmory to farm to get that finishing Sky attack.
Yeah, exactly.
But especially because Skarmory is resisting that charm, it's just going to be able to farm
and
really easily.
And you know that the only way for the Swampert to beat Skarmory is through the Hydro Cannon.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not worried about the mud shots.
Exactly.
But that's like kind of a tough to recognize.
Are we ready for round 2?
I think we are. You want to switch to the other scene really fast and we'll see if the other 2 phones are up now. It should be. Yep, there they are.
Okay, there you go.
I need to change
so WildSusanBoyle to the right, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Segmentoya to the left. I battle a lot against WildSusanBoyle, so I kind of recognize his.
Yeah, he helped you practice quite a bit for that invitation.
Yeah,
right?
he did. He was giving me a lot of really great advice.
What are the names? Sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's Segmentoya, right?
Yeah.
To the left.
SH.
The one that has the challenge screen right now.
Yeah.
And then
The other one is WildSusanBoyle.
WildSusanBoyle. Okay, we got WildSusanBoyle just to wear the head.
Can you both put the headphones on?
Both of them get the headsets on. You could great.
Okay.
Just tell them to put the headsets on.
You guys can take a look at the prior match pairings on the. I have on the bracket screen now. If you want.
Nice job, Roberto.
Yeah, well played.
Oh, thanks.
When you guys are ready for the next match, let me know.
So I don't know much about Segmentoya's play, but I know WildSusanBoyle has already won a Boulder Cup locally in the Vancouver area. So.
I'm gonna go with.
And Segmentoya is one of the 3 that's not running the full meta 6. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
I think they're just testing out the phones right now. Make sure there's no lag.
Yeah, I wanted to actually do something about that. So, which side was ahead?
So
Do you know how much it was ahead?
Oh, it was like 5-6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna guess like 4 or 5 seconds.
Okay. I just have to add a filter here to deal with that.
Is it because they're running different? One's running Chromecast, one's running.
It's the whole way the whole thing is stitched together has a little. There's like a little thing that you have to do sometimes. So set this to
500. 5,000. 5,000, yeah, that's 7 cents. I should know that metric system. Right, so.
And then over the course of the first couple of matches, we'll get it tuned so that they're perfectly in sync, but they'll be a little bit out. Oh, really?
Okay. You know what? Maybe if we put the mic closer, or we hold up the mic. I don't mind holding it.
Yeah, that might be better.
Okay. You know what? I don't have Angel's voice, but I like to put the mic in my hand a lot. So it's all good.
You guys ready for the first match?
If they're ready, yeah.
Okay. So we have apparently. Mine's not updated. Apparently, someone's saying 321 viewers.
Whoa.
Is that right? Mine's not.
I heard 300 is the last I heard, but that's probably spiked since.
All right. Well, share it in. Let us know in the chat who you're cheering on. Who you think's gonna take? Who's gonna take Boulder? Who's gonna take the rock? Right?
Yeah.
Take it home.
King, they want us to sing. They want to do it.
All right. Well, you know, if we get to 1,000 viewers,
wow,
we'll sing whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right? If we get half of them from Mexico City or from Mexico,
yeah, we can sing something out there.
In singing in Espanol. Okay. Anyways, they're locked in. Or are they practicing right now? They might be practicing.
No, they're locked in.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we got Skarmy versus Swampert in the lead. I'm guessing they'll probably just play. Oh,
He's gonna switch out.
Swap to Medichan.
WildSusanBoyle is running the Muddy Water variant, just for the potential shield bait, and then as well, if Muddy Water lands and gets the attack reduced boost. Oh, so he actually stayed. Oh, he actually still decided not to shield, which is actually a really pivotal decision.
Definitely, yeah.
And I'm assuming that WildSusanBoyle is just gonna load up to the Hydro Cannon and then switch out. But this Medichamp is boosted and is one turn ahead in terms of the charge moves.
It's interesting though that everyone so far has been opting for these Medichamp mirrors rather than maybe trying to lock in a Skarmory against a Medichamp.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially that Medichamp, like pretty low health. I'm curious that they would elect to. Oh,
this Ice Punch is going to hit pretty hard.
It's double boosted.
Yeah,
it's going to do a lot of damage.
Wow, that almost equalizes the health.
Yeah.
This Power Punch is going to KO. And I think that's a good play there, conserving the shield so he has 2 shields for the other mons in the back, given the Medichamp was almost dead anyways and probably would have been taken out by counters.
But this Medichamp is going to be able to get to this power-up punch. Oh, just barely. Just barely.
That was close.
That was a nice be able to. And less elite trainers would have like myself definitely would have been KO'd. So, and getting the shield right, and this and then
Swap come out here.
Oh, he left him to, which is interesting. Maybe he's gonna attempt to.
Maybe he's trying to let him unload the energy first and then make the switch.
But the Sigmontoya has overfarmed.
No, so he's opting to just stay in here. I wonder if either of them will try to go for a Flash Cannon at all.
Wow.
He's gonna elect to not shield again.
Not shield again.
Because he has 2 shields, right? And then the Swampert is almost dead in the back end.
No, I think he blew a shield. Yeah, I think he used a shield on the Medichamp, maybe? Yeah, they've all been pretty conservative with their shields for sure.
No, they're 2 shields in one right now.
Yeah.
And he's gonna land this Sky Attack. And then this is interesting play. Is he gonna elect to? He's gonna elect to stay in a little bit, and then shield, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, he can tank all those mud shots that are doing almost no damage. So
single resisted, right? So and
just farming up that extra energy. He is forced to double shield here as a result of maybe being a little too greedy with the farming.
And he's still...
Wow, he's aggressively farming here.
Yes.
If this doesn't KO, then it's going to come down to a CNP tie.
But he does have a Hydro Cannon Skarmory in the back, right? So he could make.
But he's not. It's not going to KO. And it's going to KO this.
There's the play.
But it's going to KO. He's going to be able to farm up a little bit. But how much health does this Skarmory have in the back? Oh, wow.
That was enough.
Wow.
So that aggressive farming, it almost bit him, but it paid off in the end.
Oh,
wow.
1 second.
God. And they're going to be able to KO in the back. And come up with very little HP. That was risky play on WildSusanBoyle's part, but able to understand and conserve energy. He actually conserved energy on that Swampert, never actually ended up using it, but not ended up needing it. So that was really risky play, but it paid off in the end.
Yeah, but I think by having that energy, though, it forced the immediate Hydro Cannon because Shogun Montoya couldn't risk having his own Swampert taken out. So that, because otherwise he might have been able to farm up a little before. But having that energy ready forced the immediate charge.
Yeah, but then again, like, if Sigma Toilet did one more Air Slash before switching out, he could have loaded up. Or if he recognized that he was one Air Slash away, again, he could have played it out, let WildSusanBoyle actually take out his Swampert.
Right.
And then farm up and then hit the
It looks like they're already locking in for game 2. But yeah, definitely energy management there was pretty key for sure.
Yeah. And then conserving those shields to the end was really, really valuable. So coming with Gallade, let's see if this Gallade is carrying Charm or Confusion. If it's
Charm.
It's Charm. So this is a favorable matchup for Swampert.
But Swampert still doesn't really like taking these charms.
Yes.
It doesn't, but it's going to force a lot of shields. Like if he's willing to go all the way up to...
Right.
Because what is it? 6 charms? So like 9 turns. So basically...
I wonder if he'll bait with Muddy Water here. It looks like he was trying to. Man, if he can bait with that Muddy Water and burn that last shield...
Let's see if he decides to shield or not. He might not decide to shield. Oh, he does shield.
Oh, wow. That Muddy Water bait is, it's not the standard set of moveset, but it seems like it paid off pretty big.
Able to take out
both shields and take out the Gallade.
That's why you run Muddy Water, right? He wouldn't have been able to, he might have been able to run it, get to it, but it would have been much closer. And this Medichamp's going to be able to farm. But Medichamp, no shield, super vulnerable.
Especially to this Skarmory now, because all Skarmory has to do is land a Sky Attack. But it looks like Shogun Montoya has that Skarmory, or he had the switch menu up, I think, looking to switch to eat a Sky Attack. But
and I'm assuming he's going to immediately switch. It's going to be, not able to.
I mean, yeah, if he was able to switch there, that would have been pretty big. But
do you switch right away if you're...
Wow.
I think he did get the switch off.
No, I don't think that Sky Attack fainted Medichamp.
Okay, it's just a visual glitch.
Yeah, but this Medichamp's super low. It's already expended a charge move, and this is going to be really...
Interesting that he shields there. Because he has a Medicham in the back?
This Medichamp's almost no health, right? I imagine he's going to switch out right now.
But I'm saying WildSusanBoyle, what does he have in the back?
He has a Medicham.
Yeah.
Right, so I think it's interesting that he used a shield on a Skarmory.
Yeah, that's true.
Saving
that's
it
true.
for the Medicham.
But I think it's like effectively over. Well, let's see, because they're both doing Sky Attacks right now. Oh no, he's going to overfarm, which is going to be.
He might be going for the Flash Cannon. That Flash Cannon might KO. I think it will.
It will KO, but will this? I think this Skarmory will be fainted down. Even if it,
he's close to the Sky Attack.
But even land the Sky Attack is not going to KO. It's not going to KO.
True.
And then this Medicham, has no.
This is over now.
It's over. Oh, the Medicham actually KO'd. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a visual glitch.
Reasonably
They switched, but
yeah. Man, well played. That Muddy Water play. People were making fun of Muddy Water when it first came out, but the fact that it was one less energy.
Being able to bait that shield there was definitely the turning point.
Yeah, Sigma Toil sending the the friendly gesture of sending the friend request. So we'll see if they accept it later on. Let's go back to the bracket. So hanging PJs coming to. Let's see. It's gonna be Ramberto versus Scandalous Panda, and let's see who takes the.
Yeah. So the winner of that match will be playing WildSusanBoyle later. So if Ramberto wins, we'll get to see him up again.
We'll see a contrast of plays there, especially if they both Seems like WildSusanBoyle really favors that Swampert lead, and the ability to successfully bait with that muddy water is really useful. And then against Galate,
but what are you giving up when you don't have Earthquake though?
Well, if someone's gonna run like Bassadon, it's a little bit more of a challenging match.
Right.
It's still
Bronzon's harder too, right?
Bronzon's harder as well.
And I guess no shield Swampert might be harder because being able to land
the
that
Earthquake, yeah. But how often do you get to the situation?
Yeah,
at least in scrims, I've landed maybe like one Earthquake, and then in some like late game situations where you want to land the Earthquake against Medichamp,
right,
as opposed to the Hydro Cannon, just because you're gonna feint anyways.
Right, you just very extra damage. Yeah,
it's that very delicate balance where you're not able to get off that.
2 Hydro Cannons, but you can do 1 move or the yeah. I think both seem to have merit, and some of it's a little bit of play style. But,
absolutely.
But in that matchup, having that muddy water, I think, was the turning point because he was able to burn 2 shields in the lead, and then having that shield advantage just carried through the rest of the game.
And like, how many people scrim against muddy water, right? Yeah. So like, Sigmund Toil decided to stay in that matchup, thinking that he could feint down the Swampert before the Swampert could get to Hydro Cannon, and it was basically a 1 charm difference, right? Yeah. And that matchup would have been significantly different because he would have been able to switch out to Skarmory, which would have been an okay matchup for Skarmory or Medichamp.
Right. And I think the other thing too is the fact that WildSusanBoyle didn't reveal that muddy water until game 2 was kind of pivotal. Yeah. Right? Game 1 he only used the Hydro Cannon, and so Sigmund Toil was expecting the moveset to be Hydro Cannon Earthquake, and then when he wasn't prepared for that muddy water.
That muddy water was so
and the best battlers in the world, they're able to hide and conserve those movesets and be able to utilize what people would typically say inferior moves or inferior Pokemon, and be able to use it for their advantage.
Yeah, and if you just find those little bit of edges in movesets, like we saw that Skull Bash Lapras in Worlds last weekend, like a lot of people wrote that off early on. And it has some interesting matchups that you might not realize at first, especially because the default sims don't always show that. So you have to use that sandbox mode.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, so it looks like we're going to go WildSusanBoyle versus Ramberto. 2 ace rank trainers going at it.
This one will be good.
Hopefully audio sounds better.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Someone in chat was saying, what Skull Bash? So Skull Bash is interesting on Lapras because it lets you win the Azumarill matchup.
Yep, allows you in the mirror.
Yeah, it lets you in the mirror, which obviously isn't super common in like Worlds or Regionals, but would come up in Tempest. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll see some Skull Bash Laprases in Tempest.
Or Rainbow.
And then, and Rainbow. And the other thing is that Lantern matchup, where you either very narrowly lose, or you can, like the default Sims and default IVs show in the one shield that Skull Bash Lapras beats Lantern by 1 HP. So not getting farmed by Lantern is a big deal.
Which one is it? This
one? Yeah.
Okay. Looks like and man, normal. And we looked it up last night. It's actually like a pretty decent spec move. It's the same energy and damage as Blizzard, as Hydro Pump, as Gunk Shot. Like 3 moves that we would say like are pretty decent DP.
Right. I mean, they're a little slow, but good DP. And on Lapras, it works because Lapras has that Ice Shard for good energy gain.
Absolutely. And the tankiness
to survive. And then when you add that defense boost onto the tanky mon, it does pretty well.
It makes Lapras one of the tankiest mons in Great League beyond already what it is. And
and then another thing that's interesting is, you know, some people, it seems like that Ice Beam Hydro Pump moveset for Azumarill has been popular in regionals recently, and Skobash Lapras wins that matchup handily.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the double resist though. We'll see as people develop new meta movesets, then there's adjustments that people make to counter the meta. Even if it's just slight moveset changes.
Brian, are we almost ready to go? Or?
Almost.
Yeah. It looks like they.
1 second, and then we'll be ready.
So what are you expecting to see in this finals match here?
Well, I see no reason for them. They probably both won their first and second round match using the same lineup, so I don't expect them to run anything different, especially in Boulder. Sometimes it's just about brilliant execution,
right? So use what you're most familiar with, because that shield usage and good energy usage is what we've seen to make the difference in the 2 matches we've watched so far.
And they probably both kind of have like novel strategies, like both running kind of novel strategies. Roberto, this is one of the strategies I saw in Europe a lot, where they just scramble around. Different Pokemon.
There's people supporting both guys.
Well, they're both like really brilliant battles. I've actually shoutcasted both their tournaments.
Yeah.
And they both like pulled off really not only excellent execution, but really great play. So Roberto's like kind of novel strategy is to safe switch Medicham, and then WildSusanBoyle is that Muddy Water.
Right. So do you think, if they lock in these teams right now, do you expect Roberto to play out that lead, or do you expect him to safe swap to that Medicham?
Well, I think he'll safe swap. I think whenever he doesn't see a favorable matchup, he's probably hardwired. I don't see the Medicham. I'm gonna swap to Medicham, because like.
It's interesting though, because
and it's very
strategies to try to catch that Medicham lead, but we haven't seen a single Medicham lead yet.
Yeah.
Anyway. So far?
And the thing is, like, I think people are very hesitant to have a Gallade not as a lead, right? Because they're worried.
Because they don't want it trapped in the back against a Skarmory.
Yeah, so like they're very hesitant to switch in. So a lot of times, and Roberto probably knows that if he doesn't see a Medicham, he can switch into Medicham and be pretty safe and not expect a Gallade.
Which it'd be interesting to see if potentially over the course of this series of 3, if maybe WildSusanBoyle adjusts and sees he's using a Medicham safe swap and leaves the Gallade in the back to punish that.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be an interesting strategy. Okay. So WildSusanBoyle is locked in. Let's see Roberto. He's gonna turn on those beats, right? Thank you. So they're locked in. Again, like Charm Gallade, if it's confusion, so obviously WildSusanBoyle, the first thing he wants to know, confusion or Charm.
Oh,
and that immediate swap is,
that safe swap.
And he manages to, so he stays in so far, and he does force an immediate shield with that Hydro Cannon.
And I'm assuming that WildSusanBoyle wants to catch that power-up punch into it. No, he's actually staying in. I'm assuming he's not going to shield his first power-up punch. It's not going to do a lot of damage.
Now he's swapping
into
the Medicham Mirror, which is obviously a pretty good play because he's already seen that Gallade. So
and choosing to go
with no shielding,
Ice Punch early, as opposed to trying to boost, especially since in when they both have 14 defense or higher, you actually don't get a boost in counter until the second power-up punch.
So this is pretty neck and neck here, but Roberto is down on shields. Maybe a little bit of lag there, but it doesn't. It looked like it was mutual and didn't really affect anything. So they elect to keep playing.
WildSusanBoyle lets the shield.
No shield here, so that Medicham is going to be pretty low on health after this. Probably fainted down just by the counters. but is able to get off this ice punch beforehand. It'll be interesting to see if WildSusanBoyle has shields or not. No shield means he takes out the Medicham. So now we have one shield apiece. It is pretty even. The Skarmory is able to farm up some energy though, which could be pretty crucial going forward.
One shield each. With land that Sky Attack. Choosing not to shield again. Roberto really doesn't like to shield this first Sky Attack.
Which is interesting. I guess he just likes to have the flexibility of being able to use his shield whenever. But it definitely does get the Swampert lower and put it in range of just being fainted by air slashes.
And interesting, he decides not to shield.
Ooh, do you think he's going to shield this? Was that a Hydro Cannon or Muddy Water?
It's hard to say.
What?
Muddy Water.
Muddy Water.
So he calls that bluff there, or maybe he was fine just losing his Gallade. And I expect no shield here because he doesn't want that Gallade to be farmed by the Skarmory in the back, so he's fine to let it go at this point.
Double Muddy Water.
It's done his job. Actually, the Muddy Water might have been a good play if he was expecting no shield to be able to not faint it and then farm a little with the Skarmory. And interesting. He only has Mono Leaf Blade. He doesn't even have the close combat. I guess he's expecting he won't get to any close combats with how slow Charm is.
This is a tough play for WildSusanBoyle at this point in time because he's way further behind. He's 4 air slashes away. In theory, Ramberto should be able to get to the second Hydro Cannon and fade down this. But it's gonna be close to see if he's gonna fade health wise.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Oh,
oof, that's close enough.
Barely got that off.
Yeah, barely.
But in that instance, was it better not to Sky Attack at all?
Maybe. But yeah, I think after the Muddy Water got through unshielded, I think that going for Muddy Water again was the right play. Because he was assuming
to be able to farm.
Yeah, he was assuming that it was not going to be shielded because at that point, Ramberto was going to say, "Oh, I don't need this Gallade anymore. It's just going to get farmed by Skarmory."
Yeah.
So getting it low but not KOing in order to get the extra. I mean, I guess it didn't matter, but that was the way he could have come.
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
Right?
It was pretty far though. Because it's hard to keep track of energy. But that Swampert had a decent amount of energy. It was only one mud shot away from another Hydro Cannon. Like you would have to have a one shield matchup. You would have to have a pretty big energy advantage lead to be able to beat out a Swampert, both being that low health.
All right, so we're
so
the Gallade again.
WildSusanBoyle Japs, and let's see how he's going to.
I wonder if he'll go for the Sky Attack and then swap. And that's what it looks like he's doing. Well, I don't know if he's going to swap or not, but that's what I would kind of expect, is to force the shield and then maybe go into a Medicham Mirror.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. And as well, put that Medicham at pretty low health. And then knowing that he doesn't need the Gallade to be that healthy to be able to beat the... well, he doesn't need Skarmory to be that healthy to beat Gallade. Right. Especially, like, even if Ramberto had close combat on his Gallade, almost no chance of getting to it.
Exactly.
Like, you need to land, like, 11 charms, which is a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I think here he's maybe just going to opt to not shield the Medicham at all, because he just wants to get the opposing Medicham low and maybe maintain that shield advantage.
The thing is, at this point in time, do you decide to farm down this Medicham and then have a bunch of energy loaded? Or do you decide that this Medicham is too loaded, which is what he's deciding, that you don't want to take too many counters against it? Even though they're resisted, it is double boost at this point in time.
Well, and also, if you farm too much, you're taking another Power Up Punch or Ice Punch at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you're getting real low, maybe even having to use a shield.
Man, would you have Ice Punch? I would have
done the Ice Punch.
I will, yeah.
But maybe he was worried it wouldn't survive.
He's going to switch. And these guys are very good at switching. Because...
And again, Ramberto opting to not shield that first Sky Attack.
Do you think, at this point in time, do you decide not to shield come back in with Medichamp, knowing that maybe you're double, triple boosted at this point in time? Can you KO this?
I think that's what we got to try for. Yeah.
Or waste energy. Do you shield at this point in time?
I don't think so. No. You want to save. Because at this point, do you think the Swampert can kill with Mud Shots? Mud Shot doesn't do much damage.
No, I don't think so. And he has to choose not to shield. He has to choose not to shield. I think you don't shield because that Leaf Blade's going to one-shot you, but you also have to be worried about
charm damage.
So then you do Muddy Water at this point in time. You have to Muddy Water.
It's gonna see. Maybe
I think you double Muddy Water. And let's see if Roberto decides to call.
Oh god.
Call.
Wow.
Yeah, so he thought what you were thinking, which is gonna be a Muddy Water.
You know, I actually had this conversation with hanging PJs in Canada. So I'm like, sometimes like he's the right play in theory in practice is bait and then Hydro Cannon. But sometimes these players think too far in advance, like, oh, they know they're gonna bait and then hit the Hydro Cannon. Wow, yeah, what a prediction!
Yeah, it's mind games and going back and forth.
So
and because I'm thinking Ramberto thought the only way he wins is if he goes for the Muddy Water bait, right? Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna call that. But sometimes, yeah, you get punished if you.
And then you're left with nothing. One shield left, right? The potential. So now they're moving on to game 3. Let's see how Ramberto decides to adjust or not adjust.
Ooh, WildSusanBoyle is locking that Medicham lead, hoping he's scared off the Gallade lead, I think.
He's sticking to his guns. So
yeah, we've seen Ramberto lead Gallade every single game, and it finally looks like it paid off.
And switched to Skarmory, and then he switched to Swampert.
Did he switch fast enough? It was pretty quick.
It was very quick. So I expect no shields on WildSusanBoyle's side. But man, like, he really needed this Skarmory to take out that Gallade, because now that Gallade is super dangerous.
Yeah, because that Leaf Blade does threaten the Swampert and the Charm.
And now he's going to have to shield. He's going to have to shield. But I think WildSusanBoyle is trying to go for the self-piggyback, maybe? I don't think he charged up enough to do the self-piggyback. This is going to be a tough one for WildSusanBoyle to come back from. And able to... yeah.
He does get 2 shields, though.
Wow.
So now he can maybe let that Skarmory go
and
bring in the Medicham to farm some energy and try to land an Ice Punch on the Gallade, right?
But is that going to be enough? Like,
that's second.
But
interesting.
He's going to switch. He's going to...
Oh, and he barely gets beat to the charge move. I think he thought he had that Sky Attack first.
He needed that shield.
Yeah, he made the same thing.
Because basically, Roberto is going to safe switch to Gallade, and it's pretty much over at this point in time.
Yeah.
Oh, able to get the Hydro Cannon.
Oh, wow. That was the thinnest of margins for sure. And yeah, I don't think there's any way back now because that Medichamp's so low, this Gallade is just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
Oh, he opts for the Medicham Mirror instead. Interesting. Oh, just to take the energy. Oh, and now the Gallade might get to that. Oh. Huh.
Wow.
Ooh.
This is actually going to be closer than we thought.
No, this Medicham, I think Medicham in the back is... Oh!
Wow!
He might land this Muddy Water, right? He might land the Muddy Water.
Defend. I think he went for Hydro Cannon.
No way! Wow!
Wow.
I thought he was dead in the water.
Wow!
It's like he just came back.
Jesus, I wrote WildSusanBoyle off way too early. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I think that's going to take out the Swampert, but how much health does the Medicham have in the back?
Wow, really? And he's going to be able to farm.
Oh, the farming, that makes the difference here.
Oh, but
greedy! No way! I think he was going for the full form, but he got too greedy.
And then forgot about the muddy water.
Yeah.
Wow.
He may have been counting, thinking of Hydro Cannon.
Jesus.
And forgot muddy water.
I honestly thought 0% chance WildSusanBoyle was going to come back on top.
Yeah.
Wow. What the heck?
That's muddy water the champion for this guy.
You think not coming in Gallade was the issue?
I think that was the issue. If he brought in Gallade into
because
he forces the switch.
And then he beats it to
swap.
Yeah, he beats it to wow. Gee, wow. That was amazing.
That muddy water won him the tournament. There was 2 games.
Wow. Okay. Can we get Chaz and
You're still on screen for the second. Go ahead. Switch seats.
Yeah. Can you guys switch the scene?
what do you want to switch it to?
Switch it to the bracket.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. Muddy water.
Who would have thought?
Well, a lot of people were trashing muddy water, right? But it.
I mean, on such a big stage, it came up so clutch.
Yeah. Because there's a good chance that he might have been able to just farm down, and then it would have been a really close match.
Yeah.
With that much energy difference.
Yeah, but just getting that quicker muddy water was able to force the KO.
Wow. Okay. I'm not counting out Wild. You know, to be honest, I scrim a lot with WildSusanBoyle, and so many times I'm like, I got it. I finally got it. No way he's gonna beat me for the 7th time in a row. Then he beats me for the 7th time.
Man, you scrim with him too.
I know. That's disrespect. I know. Oh my gosh, Jesus. But not coming to Glade was the pivotal movement. I understand trying to shield, but like not when you're running Charm as opposed to Confusion. That means okay, Chaz, get in here. Okay, Chaz, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna lose that last one.
I thought I was too.
Okay, walk us through.
Thank you.
Walk us through the decision making. Okay, walk us through your. I think the really key decision was the muddy water. To tell us why muddy water. How did you come up with it? Yeah.
Well, when I first thought of the meta, Bastiodon was kind of thought to be the perfect anti-Skarmory counter that we used to have back then as Melmetal. Now with Metacham with Power Punch, it's more powerful than it used to be before. So you can essentially eliminate every single Steel or Rock type counter against Skarmory with Metacham alone. On top of that, there's Swampert, which can deal with those as a double, and those can even be farmed. So there's really no reason to be running an extreme moveset for those types of counters. And instead, in matches where you're going to have primarily Skarmory, Swampert, and Metacham brawling it out, you're better off having something that's able to bait something.
Yeah, and you in your second round match, I'm sure in your first round match as well, you were able to hide that muddy water and then be able to bait it out and then ultimately beat the Glade. And I think muddy water is something that not a lot of people scrim against, and they're not really sure what to do or how that matchup necessarily plays out.
I didn't get the proc at any point because it is 30%.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the purpose of having muddy water in Boulder.
It's like a nice benefit, but that's not really. And then walk us through your mindset when after the Swampert landed that third Hydro Cannon to KO or third or fourth, whatever it was, to KO your Skarmory when you had full energy. Walk us through what your mindset was at that point in time.
I was honestly expecting a Metacham in the back. Worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it's the only two options I can think of is having Swamp. No, he had Swampert.
Yeah.
Skarmory.
So he had
Metacham, Glade, and Swampert.
Yeah.
So I saw the Glade. I got beat by the Swampert. So it was either Metacham or Skarmory.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think I could have gotten to 2 power-up punches, so I thought of just throwing out 1 ice punch, and I know that if I kept in Metacham, I would get farmed up by Glade.
Yeah.
He used his Metacham to body block the ice punch, which may or may not have been a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure.
I think his ultimately, it's a tough call, especially in real time, but I think his losing decision was not coming in with Glade, because then it allowed your Swampert to come in Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, I think it was because that Ice Beam, I was able to finish off with that Hydro Cannon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then landing it, like, I'm sure when you saw the muddy water available, and you landed it to win the tournament. Honestly, Tristan and I, we're after your Skarmory KO'd, we're like, it's over. Like, there's no way you're gonna win. There's no way you're gonna win. And then when we saw in the back and landed the Hydro Cannon and landed the muddy water, it was incredible. Like, so you won Boulder. So now you've accumulated what?
So
7 points at this point.
Yeah. So the way it works is you get and we have the standings here. I think they need to be slightly adjusted though.
I think,
but you get 2 points for each round that you win, and then the winner of the tournament gets 1 bonus point. So WildSusanBoyle here has the 7 points, and then you see Ramberto, Filiev, Hank, PGs all at 4, and then we've got a couple people down at 2, and then Ice at 0 for the time being.
And how are you feeling about Twilight?
Twilight's a scary cup.
It's an interesting cup, right? There's a lot of diversity, but we'll let you go prep for it, and best of luck. Really, congrats. That was a crazy matchups. Some really high-level play. And you saw that even though typically Boulder's a very, meta-centric, and we saw mostly meta-centric Pokemon. We didn't see like any Torterras run or even in Bronzong run, but you saw that these like small strategy changes, in this case Muddy Water or say switching to Medicham, allowed these competitors to come out on top, and that was those were some really exciting. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try to restrain myself from saying it's over.
Yeah,
because
you need to be like no saying GG so fast.
Yeah. So it was my fault, and I should have known because WildSusanBoyle has done that to me a number of times. So. Dead in the water is sometimes we are able to find some light. So,
and Kieng, the cup is just starting, so we just have a champion for Boulder Cup.